Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise in strong support of H.R. 2857, the Generations Invigorating Volunteerism and Education Act, the first reauthorization of the National and Community Services laws and programs since 1993. I'm pleased that today this House is taking up this important measure that will take volunteerism and service into the 21st century. In March of 1961, the President John F. Kennedy first challenged a generation of Americans to ask not what your country can do for you, but to ask what you can do for your country. By establishing the Peace Corps and the Volunteers in Service to America programs, he inspired millions of Americans to make a difference here at home, around the globe. He created a powerful legacy of hope and service that connects us as Americans. Almost 50 years later, we should be very proud that volunteering in America is at a 30-year high. Through AmeriCorps and other service organizations, a new generation of Americans have become inspired to build a stronger...
The gentleman from California will suspend. Members and staff on the majority side of the aisle will take their seats, remove their conversations from the floor. The gentleman from California is recognized.
Through the AmeriCorps and other service programs, a new generation of Americans have become inspired to build a stronger, more vibrant communities, to help children succeed in schools, to rebuild cities in times of disasters. In fact, in 2006, more than 61 million Americans gave back to their communities through service. That same year, volunteers in my home state of California contributed more than 858 million hours of service to our state economy, a value of more than $17 billion. In the 15 years since AmeriCorps was enacted into law, more than 500,000 Americans of all ages and backgrounds have participated in this program. Our current and future generations of volunteers deserve our renewed support for their programs, just as President Kennedy first provided decades ago. The GIVE Act, this legislation, recognizes this growing service movement that is taking place across the nation. It builds upon the successful work being done in communities across the country by members of AmeriCorps, VISTA, the Senior Corps, and Learn and Serve America. AmeriCorps has become a successful model for public-private partnerships. Last year, the AmeriCorps program leveraged more than $200 million in matching funds mobilized by more than 1.4 million volunteers and worked with 2,000 small and large faith-based, community-based organizations across the country. The GIVE Act would strengthen AmeriCorps' service model by putting us on the path to increasing the number of AmeriCorps members from 75,000 to 100,000 by 2012, with the focus on engaging low-income, disadvantaged, and at-risk youth. With soaring tuition prices making it harder for many students to get a college degree, the GIVE Act would help AmeriCorps members pay for college by increasing the scholarship they earn in exchange for their service from $4,725 to $5,255 by 2012. This bill would also introduce young people to community service by creating a new Summer of Service initiative that will offer middle school and high school students an opportunity to spend the summer working to improve their communities while earning a $500 education award that can be used for college or for college preparation. Alumni of these programs remain valuable resources to our communities. More than 72% of AmeriCorps members continue to volunteer in their communities after their term of service ends. After Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast communities, AmeriCorps alumni played a key role in relief, recovery, and rebuilding efforts. To help tap into these resources at times of emergency, this bill would expand the number of volunteers ready to respond by creating an Alumni Reserve Corps of service alumni with previous experience serving during disasters. Volunteering also provides critical opportunities for older Americans to make a difference in their communities. Each year, nearly 500,000 older Americans participate in the Senior Corps program, mentoring children of prisoners, providing independent living services for seniors, assisting victims of natural disasters, and mobilizing other volunteers. The GIVE Act would expand the purpose of the Senior Corps programs by adding an emphasis on recruiting retired STEM, healthcare, and law enforcement and military professionals to help with education, after-school, public safety, and technology needs. In addition, it would phase in the competition for retired and senior volunteer programs, an important part of the Senior Corps, by 2013, allowing new grantees and volunteers to join the service movement and encouraging innovation and evolution among the high-performing programs. I also want to thank the RSVP program for working with us to ensure this responsible transition. I want to thank the many members of both sides of the aisle, in particular Representative McCarthy, Representative McKean, and Platts, for their leadership, as well, and the Service Caucus for their support. I also want to thank our committee staff for their hard work on this bill, including Alex Hayhaw, Denise Fort, Stephanie Moore, Deborah Kolbach, and Ms. McCarthy, Brad Thomas, Deborah Kolbach, who works with Ms. McCarthy, Brad Thomas with Mr. McKean, and Becky Wolfskiel with Mr. Platts. Let me also thank the Voices for Service and their members' organizations who were invaluable in helping us develop this legislation. Madam Speaker, it is clear that service has played an important role in this country's history and will continue to help us meet the challenges and the needs of our communities. And it is clear that the interest in volunteering reaches across all generations. Our young people, retiring baby boomers, and older Americans. The GIVE Act reflects their commitment and our commitment to building a stronger country through service. I urge my colleagues to join us in this effort by supporting this legislation.